Yar, a few square blocks on a map. But every meter here is contested. What you're watching isn't a random push, it's a system at work. Up front, a Ukrainian T-80 and armored vehicles shape the fight. Their guns rake likely firing points, smashing dugouts and tree lines, forcing the occupiers to keep their heads down. Tracks don't rush, they breathe with the infantry, edging forward, halting, angling armor, and laying down bursts that let assault groups move. Behind the smoke and dust, the real engine hums at the coordination headquarters. Drones send live feeds, spotters mark grids. The map fills with moving pieces. One net handles reconnaissance, another routes fire missions. A third clears the lane for sappers and medics. Tasks shift in seconds. An assault element needs a breach. Engineers get it. A flank takes fire. Mortars are retasked. A new trench appears. FPV teams spool up. Assault groups leapfrog from wall to wall, cellar to cellar. Short calls on the radio. No speeches, positions, distances, results. If enemy mortars open up, counter-battery cues ripple outward. If a machine gun survives the first barrage, a drone finds the angle and ends the argument. Nothing heroic and reckless. Everything deliberate and connected. Armor, infantry, drones, and HQ. Different instruments, one score. The tank's thunder covers the sprint. The headset whispers the next move. And step by step, strong points that look permanent begin to crack. This is how ground is taken here. Not by chance, but by synchronization. Ukrainian kamikaze drones went hunting and found the pillars of Russia's air shield. A long-range S-300, a Tor M2, and a Panzer S-1. Different roles, same fate. The drones don't duel, they outthink, skimming low, striking radars, launchers, and crews with cold precision. One hit blinds the sector, the next silences the guard, the last removes the fallback. Each system is designed to protect the other. Take them together and the web unravels. Gaps open in coverage. Routes appear for follow-on strikes, and the tempo shifts. This is how air defense erodes, not in theory, but in burning metal and sudden silence. first look, the hammer in Ukrainian hands. An attack jet rolls and steady, holds the line, and instead of diving into a wall of enemy air defenses, it lets the weapon do the dangerous part. The bombs separate clean, catch the air, and slip toward the grid with quiet certainty. No showy arcs, no drama, just a measured glide to exactly where they're told to go. ASM 250 hammer isn't a single bomb, so much as a smart kit that turns a standard warhead into a precision instrument. Guidance stacks work together to ride through jamming and weather. The range by standoff. The accuracy turns a hardened position into a solvable problem. Bunkers, command posts, bridges, targets that once demanded risky, low-level runs can now be handled from safer skies. What matters most isn't the blast, it's the geometry. Pilots stay outside the enemy's best engagement zones. The weapon threads in along a planned path, arrives from an unexpected angle, and lands inside the margin that defenders count on. That's how you reduce collateral damage and spare crews while still breaking the backbone of a position. And there's a bigger story in the frames you're seeing. Integration. Western guidance made it to a Ukrainian Su-25, a Soviet-era airframe adapted to modern warfare. That blend of old and new is the signature of this air campaign. Improvise where you must, upgrade where you can, and keep the tempo high enough that the enemy never gets comfortable. On the ground, you feel it as pressure. Air defenses forced to relocate, logistics nodes disrupted, batteries that switch on and are immediately punished. For assault units, precise holes open in the line. For commanders, options multiply. The hammer doesn't just hit targets, it changes the risk calculus, shifting each sortie from a gamble into a plan. And with every strike that lands on time and on coordinate, the message is the same. Ukraine's aviation is learning, adapting, and reaching farther than before.